Hello, viewers. I'm glad you're here. Today, I'm going to give you some good reasons to brew your own makgeolli instead of buying it, especially from industrial makgeolli producers. Let's look at the production process of commercial makgeolli. It's going to be fun to watch this, but we are going to see some problems with this production process. I'll show you an example of a large brewery and an example of a small brewery, but both have problems. My goal here is that I want you to be aware of the difference in quality that's just inherent in industrial makgeolli production. It's always better to be able to judge the quality of a product and know what you're getting. And if you can't get good makgeolli where you are, I want this to motivate you to brew your own. I think you're especially going to be surprised with the problems we see in the small factory. But the first factory I want you to see is a huge factory. It's for Gyeongjubeopju ssal makgeolli. I'm going to be showing you parts of this video I found on YouTube. There are links in the description for the full video. I've tasted this product. Now the thing is, it actually tastes pretty good, and it's available some places in the US. But let's evaluate this factory critically. The first thing to notice is the scale. When you brew at home, you really touch every grain of rice with your hands. So the scale here, it's impersonal, and when you brew at home, it's personal. So that's the first thing I think of when I watch this. That's 1,000 kilograms of rice there. There's something confusing about this part of the video. The subtitle says yeast, but they're talking about ipguk, not hyomo. And you can see ipguk here on the sign. And here's a bottle of this product that I drank. The label on my bottle says John Tong Nuruk, and that means traditional Nuruk. And the ingredient list says the same thing. It says Nuruk, not ipguk. So that's a bit confusing. And besides that, I noticed the Nuruk taste when I drank it. So it's possible this ipguk is used in some other products, or somehow this video is confused about this part. In any case, it's a positive thing to use Nuruk. I would view it negatively for using ipguk, and ipguk is much more common in commercial makgeolli. So ipguk produces a much more mild taste, so I consider that a big disadvantage of industrial makgeolli. Moving on, here's the mitsul room where the first stage of the brew is done. Here in the subtitle, yeast, I think, actually means yeast, hyomo. Anyhow, this is a positive thing to have multiple stages of brewing. Now we go to the rice steaming room. This looks like a very expensive and complicated piece of equipment here. It looks like the rice is steamed and cooled here on this conveyor belt continuously, so it's very efficient, and I do give it a positive point for using Gyeongjubeopju here. I think that's a good thing. So it seems like it's steamed for 40 minutes and then cooled in this machine. So I'll give this product another plus for the 7-day fermentation period, which is a pretty normal fermentation period. For your home brewing, 7 days would be about as fast as you would want, but for an industrial product, this 7 days, it's pretty good, so I'll give it a point for that. But here are some negative processes. There's heat treatment and artificial carbonation and pasteurization. That heat treatment and the pasteurization seem to be separate processes. So that is going to affect the taste, and those are negative things that you would not do in home fermentation. So this is not a Seng makgeolli. It's not going to have that fresh taste. And this video forgot to mention the substitute sweetener that's added to this product, which is enzyme-treated stevia. So it does have a sweetener added to this product that does affect the flavor, gives it a certain kind of aftertaste. So that's a negative, having these sweetener additives. So let's summarize the good and bad things happening at the factory. So on the positive side, this product uses Nuruk. They use Mitsul. They have a first stage, and they use Gyeongjubeopju to brew with. So those are positive things, and the fermentation time is reasonable. On the negative side, there's the pasteurization, the substitute sweeteners added, the artificial carbonation. I should also point out that this makgeolli is inexpensive. It's just a bit more expensive than the cheapest brands. So this is not a bad product. It's inexpensive and it tastes reasonably good, but it's good to be aware about exactly how it's made and to judge its quality. Now let's look at a small brewery. And the surprising thing here is that there are still problems, but they're a different set of problems. I haven't tasted this brewery's product. I think this brewery doesn't even exist anymore, but we can watch this video and we can learn something. So this is a much smaller operation. This fermenter is about 100 liters in capacity. Here's one weird thing about this process. I think this is rice bran, and that's added to the water here and mixed in. The purpose might be for flavor or color, maybe for nutrients. I can only speculate, but it is part of this process. It's not a normal ingredient for brewing. And here the subtitle says Nuruk, but the package, it says Gook. So I think this is Ipgook. So I went to look for the ingredient list on the label. The ingredient list says Ipgook and some more enzymes, no Nuruk. So this is a negative point for using Ipgook here. So this rice powder is added, and it's not going to be cooked. So either this is puffed rice powder, sort of pre-cooked, or there's the enzymes that are added are powerful enough to saccharify raw rice. So this is like one of those makgeolli kits. So that's disappointing. I think this is some kind of franchised microbrewery, which is why they're using these pre-packaged products. So this is sweetened with glucose, but also artificial sweeteners, acesulfame, potassium, and aspartame. It's good at fermented for 7 days. That's a reasonable length of time, but it is weird they're adding so much glucose here. That is fermentable, and if the yeast is alive, it's going to consume that. So let's summarize the good and bad things at this brewery. So the good things are that this is a small-scale operation. It's only locally distributed. The product is not pasteurized, so it has to be delivered fresh, and the fermentation time is reasonable. But on the negative side, they used Ipgook, they used powdered rice like a kit, and there's artificial sweeteners. So that is disappointing coming from a microbrewery like this. So you can't just assume. You cannot just assume that the quality is going to be better from a microbrewery. This makgeolli is also inexpensive. It sells for about the same price as the first brewery. So that's got to be a difficult business to be in. This is a much smaller operation, but you're selling your product at the same price as the mega brewery. So what I get from this is that industrial makgeolli production, whether large scale or small scale, has a variety of bad practices and ingredients that reduce the overall quality of their products. So what are the alternatives to this? Well, if you're in Korea, you can find local specialty products that take no shortcuts and are high quality. They're a bit more expensive, but they're worth it. I've tried to review a variety of these products on my channel, so watch those earlier videos for some ideas. But there are a lot more products out there that are really handmade and high quality. but you have to be in Korea to get these products. So if these products aren't available to you where you are, then you should brew your own in your own kitchen. You don't need a lot of equipment or time to do this. You might have to accommodate the seasons. You put in your own effort and you can brew your own delicious makgeolli. You're going to be able to avoid all the bad practices of industrial makgeolli production. Let me know what you think in the comments. Happy brewing, and thank you for watching.